I'm recording. Okay. So basically, I got this ask, which is, do I have any tips on shading, or could I even walk through this anonymous on how to do it? I've been wanting to make videos of me drawing for a while, so let's do it. Shading. I've got my line art here, and my flats here. And you can see I've done the inside colours red and this layers on shade just so it looks softer. And I'm going to make my light source this heart here, this here. And so I've got a layer, I've got a layer above my flats, which is on a clipping group, so it's only going to be on that layer. And basically why I didn't just make a post, because the colour shading is really in depth, I think. So start with reds, because no, don't. I'm sorry, I'm really confused. Right, shading, what I usually do as a rule is I'm going to make the red heart the light source, and because that gives off red light, then you would make all the highlights like red, like it's bright here, so you make that red. But what is 180 degrees around from red on the color wheel? That's right, it's blue. So I get a dark blue to shade, and I turn my thing down to 50%, my brush. This is just a brush I got. It's like a rough thing. So then you just go in, and it looks really muddy right now because it's like a cool color and a warm color. But I don't know. I don't always do it 180 degrees around on the color wheel, but I think it's good tutorial because it always looks very nice. And just shade where you need to put shade. I might fast forward this bit, who knows? See how it looks nicer? Because this is actually just a very light blue. So it looks nicer on that because it's a cool blue, and a nice cool blue on the beach. Tips on shading. Tips on shading. Always have a light source. I'm not an expert, but I think you should have a light source because, well, no, you should have a light source because all light has a source, and sometimes you have two light sources. So maybe I've got light also coming from over here, so then I would make another light source over here, but then I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I think that's all the shadows. So then you just turn the opacity of that down so it's softer, because you're not gonna get really like black shadows. And then what I think a lot of people don't do is they just do shadows and they don't do light, but everything has lights and darks. And you just put it in where you need the shading. I know that sounds really like, oh, you just need the and it's the places where the light can touch, so the light can't get past the side, so it doesn't get there. And see how the light is like a nice light pink in contrast to the blue. It just makes it look a bit more realistic. And then I just merge those down. And sometimes when I'm finishing, I just just do like an overlay of some nice colours. I learnt this from watching a speed paint, so make sure you watch some of those on my channel too. Haha. Free advertising by me. It's not really advertising, wonderful. It just makes the tone more even. And that's nice. But I think the question was also, because this is what I do shading for, like, cartoony. I have 10 minutes, let's do a little cartoon. But if you're doing more like intense and you're gonna see all my really bad files now. If you're doing like a painting, which a lot of my speed paints are, then you wanna, I've got a work in progress I can bring up. This. Then I'll link, because I actually watched a tutorial to learn how to shade like this. I'll link that in the description. But basically you do what I did earlier, which was have the shade layers, put down the shading, and you do that a few times. You also do a luminosity layer. Oh yeah, you set the light layer on luminosity, not like that, luminosity with the thing, and you just go over it like that. But I'll put a link to that in the description. Nice. Thank you for watching. Here's the finished product.